If you can't stand the heat, it's better you get out of the kitchen. Yes, if you cannot stand the heat, it's better you get out of the kitchen, because the God in Queen Naomi has troubled the demons in all the Oloris. Hello, people, and welcome to D and Z TV. And this is the place where whatever information that is true, that is legit, the best place you can always get it, it's here at D and Z TV. So if you've not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? I think it's good for you to subscribe to the channel. Click on the notification button, comment, like, and share this video. And if there's just anything you want to talk about on this platform, let us know. And guess what? We will talk about it. All right. So let's get to the gist of the matter. It is pertinent to note that so much has actually been happening in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. Yeah, so much has been happening at the palace of Ooni of Ife. So many people have been fighting. So many people have been talking. There's so much chaos and acrimony happening in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. But notwithstanding all the issues and issues that has been coming up in that place, Naomi has actually still been able to stand out. You know, some of these things, when they happen so real that people begin to even suspect or think it is not real. Yeah, it becomes so strong that, you know, there are sometimes that God will do something for you and you can't even phantom it, you can't even understand it, you can't even place it. That is because, you know, the thing happens in a very tight, difficult way that you cannot comprehend and understand. So, as a matter of fact, the heat in the kitchen of the Oni's palace is actually very, very tough. Yeah, the heat is actually very strong, it's very tough, and people tend not to understand exactly what's happening. That is why Naomi's God has actually been able to trouble all the demons. You know, the demons come in different levels. You know, there's this movie called the Demons Wear Prada. You know, the demons in the Oni's palace even come in such a way that they even wear Prada. Some are so stubborn, some are so incomprehensible. You know, so it has actually happened so strong that as it is right now, people don't tend to understand what's happening anymore. You know, people have tried, people have fought, people have done everything in their capacity to see that they bring Naomi down. But guess what? The more they try to bring Naomi down, the more God actually has a way of lifting her up. And God has lifted her up far, far, far above all principalities and powers, far, far, far above all rulers of darkness in high and low places. And the way it is, all these things that are always coming, God has a way of exonerating her. Now, initially, before now, the notion was more like, okay, Naomi is the only person who has given birth to a child, you know, a real heir apparent of the palace. But right now, Toby Phillips now, um, Toby Phillips now gave birth to a child, and not just a child, she gave birth to twins. And the issue has now come up that, okay, those twins that she gave birth to are not Oni's own real kids. That the issue of DNA test now came on board, and people are now beginning to talk. People are now beginning to argue, and so much has actually been happening that people can't even understand or comprehend. You know, so these are some of the things that has actually escalated and made the Oni to now really, really put his mind and dedicate his mind to the fact that Queen Naomi is the chosen one. You see, once God chooses you, no matter what the devil tries to do, it cannot work. Once God chooses you, no matter what the enemy tries to do, it cannot stand. The kitchen is now becoming too hot. Those who have tried to be there, no. So the way it is right now, the way it is right now, people have actually tried. People have people have actually tried. People have actually fought. People have actually done all forms of pull down syndrome. But guess what? The more pull down syndrome they try, the more God has always actually exonerated her. The more they've struggled, the more they've pushed, the more they've anticipated. What happens? The more they try it, God always has a way of making Naomi to survive. God has a way of making Naomi to stand out. God has a way of making Naomi to become that celebrated woman that everybody is looking out for. God has a way of making her to know that, of a matter of fact, she is the chosen one. God has a way of making her become too exonerated, you see. And that is because she actually kept her hands very, very clean. Her hands are so clean. It is said that he who wants to go to equity must go to equity with his hands devoid of any form of stain. Most of these women, when they now try to see what they want to do, when they now go trying to fight Ooni, what now happens? Trying to fight Naomi, what now happens? They end up getting their hands burnt. Imagine that somebody left the palace for how many days now, how many months, how many years, but her relevance cannot be compared to anything anybody has seen before. Her relevance cannot just be imagined. People have fought, people have struggled, people have tried, but all this one is to no avail. That is because God, in his infinite mercy and goodness, has always remained strong for our almighty Queen Naomi. Naomi has actually become a study instrument of sort, whereby people just need to know that they need to come and study her to learn and understand what they need to do so that she can actually live as that cynosure of everybody's eyes. That cynosure that as you come around, allowing her to take her place, she now becomes extremely valuable and extremely energetic, and people now begin to struggle to make them become part and parcel of this almighty Queen Naomi. I tell you something, Queen Naomi really, really needs to be celebrated. Imagine what now happened the other day, that okay, the same Tobi Phillips now says she wants to dedicate the children, and the only place she knows that she can dedicate the children is in Naomi's church. And now I begin to wonder, understand, is this not the situation of Nyanga they sleep, trouble they come wake am up? Yes, it is a clear picture that Nyanga they sleep, trouble they come wake up am. Because as far as I'm concerned, everybody should face their focus. All these evil and wicked Oloris, they know no peace. The only thing that they know is wickedness, wickedness upon wickedness. They've tried, they've struggled, they've tried to do everything to pull her down. But the more they try, the more God has a way of lifting Naomi up. And that is because Olori Tobi Phillips is always shedding crocodile tears, forgiveness, begging for forgiveness, begging for forgiveness. Whereas it is even not really, really in her DNA. It is not in her mind to even ask for forgiveness. She's just asking for forgiveness because it is something that will just help her to still stay in the palace. And the KBSC is actually forgetting that this is a great opportunity for him to be free. He's supposed to be free from every problem of this street girl called Tobi Phillips. KBSC, do not pity or take her back. The worst KBSC can do is to dash her a few naira. She fit for Olori, bad character at all, full of envy, which means problem for good, collect all your wealth, not thinking of anybody else, even your children. Tobi Phillips, you're greedy. You're greedy. Your greed is actually not of this world. I'm telling you, your greed is actually not of this world. How can you now begin to now it is now becoming clearer that all these things that Tobi Phillips did is just because she wants to inherit from the Ooni's palace. That is why she made it child for the Ooni of Ife. Yes. Come what come may, she must have a child for the Ooni of Ife, because it is this child that she's going to have that is what is going to make her even have a say in the palace. This is what will make her to have a say in the palace. And and the way it is now, Tobi Phillips now making the Ooni look as if he's a fool, that he doesn't know what he's doing. And these are things that cannot be taken especially for somebody who is a first class monarch like the Ooni of previous, and something that needs to be put to check. Let me tell you, Tobi Phillips, you cannot force things on old. Right now, Naomi has a better understanding of what to do to remain relevant. Not minding all those people who have been calling and trying to make issues, trying to make problems, trying to she's doing. But guess what? The truth about the matter is Naomi now knows better. Yes, Naomi now does what? Naomi knows better. Naomi cannot be a fool forever. So all those people who think that they will come and make Naomi not to understand what she's doing, it is not going to work. Go to work. Yes, Naomi is somebody that the gods have chosen. There's nothing as bad as going to fight somebody that the gods have chosen, and even God himself has chosen. Do you know the people who are backing her up? Her backup level is so enormous that nobody can understand. See, Tobi is just a big fat liar. She wants to take something from Tade to do to the twins DNA. You see, Tobi, what Tobi just trying to do now is just trying to do everything possible to link up the DNA of her own children, who do know where they come from, to the DNA of the higher apparent of the throne. That is actually the concept. That is actually their mind's brain. That is actually what she is just struggling. Really, as of the time of this report, Naomi has not told us whether she's going to return to dedicate those children or not. But we, the online in-laws, are saying, Naomi, please, for your good and for your own mental health, is coming from this Tobi Phillips. Because the truth about the matter is, Tobi Phillips cannot be trusted at all. You cannot trust somebody who is supposed to be the queen. Now she will be running up and down. Imagine, I understand. That is why the kitchen has actually become just too hot for anybody to comprehend and understand. And guess what? We are very happy for the king and Naomi. But the truth about the matter is, they are going to come back together. They are definitely and surely going to come back together. Because all these things are this one. The more they try to pull them down, the more God will be lifting them up. And we see, what else are we going to beg? We beg that king, please allow Tobi Phillips go back to her husband. At times I even think that Ooni even has his own problem. Why would he now be wanting to struggle somebody who doesn't really want to stay? Somebody who just wants to go back. They always just want to make issues and things come out of this. Anyway, this is how far we'll be taking on this wonderful morning, because the truth about the matter is the kitchen has actually been very, very hot. And since the kitchen is that hot now, the heat is up in the kitchen. The best thing for everybody, we no one make me to jam them, is to leave the palace for Queen Naomi to make her triumphant entry back to the palace. All right, thank you. Comment, like, and share. And if there's just anything you want to talk about on this channel, let us know on the comment section. And guess what? We will talk about it. Thank you and bye-bye.